Hello Internet and welcome back to more Kerbal Space Program. So, we're here in this, I thought this was a little like wrecked pod from a failed rocket launch. Nah, it's a little bunker thing. You can actually go in it. So that's neat. We don't need to be here though, really. We're kind of at the tail end. Let's see if I can get out of here with my big old helmet. So we're at the tail end of a driving adventure, getting all the science we could from around the Space Center, which is all out behind me. So I think we've now gotten from everywhere that we can, at least everywhere I know to get to right now. And that'll probably be good, because it's frankly not all that interesting. The sound of twin turbo jets in the morning. Let's... Oh, nope, I hit my head. Alright, get up, Jewel Guard. There you go. These things are always tricky. You kind of have to hop, grab, climb up a bit, board. Someday I'll figure out technology for ladders. Okay, well, we don't have to do anything else, so let's just recover. I thought that I could get some more science from here, forgetting that I'd actually already gotten it from the pad, so that was one place I didn't need to bring extra science for, but you can see we've gone up to 110. Funds are alright, reputation, I don't really think it deserves to go up from any of that nonsense, but you've got some stuff. Maybe we can probably go ahead and unlock something. What should that be? Basic science would be nice. That's a radiator panel. Okay, so this would allow us to do some of the unmanned satellite things. So we have a transmitter, we have batteries now. I don't know if we have a solar panel. But I guess the idea would be just launch something and have it do science in orbit on battery power. So that could be kind of fun. What is this? Yeah, this lets us do a bunch of science stuff. I'm still not sure. I looked at this earlier, and I thought it would let me essentially run multiple science experiments with the same thing. And maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. By the text, it almost sounds more like all your data goes in here, so even if the ship explodes, you have a little black box and get the science. Which could be handy anyway, because, well, I'm a little bit explosion prone. But, let's see, flight control might be handy. Landing's always fun. Actually, I do like landing. That's most of my science, though. Aerodynamics. Aerodynamics might be good. So, the current situation, as we poke through this stuff, so I'm kind of transitioning into airplanes currently. I feel like a lot of the space science I've kind of done. Well, I've not done much space science at all, but what I can do right now, I've kind of done. I'm to the point where I can start building airplanes to go and do stuff on Kerbin. And at least from my experience, I like doing that, getting some of the planet-based science stuff done before venturing out into space. Just seems to be the more logical way to do it. And it'll get us a lot of science and money and whatnot to fund our space missions. So, and some of this is nice. I could do, that's 20. So I could do both of these rocketry things and get some handy rockets. So the benefit of landing is it would give me landing gear that retract. Maybe let's try... Yeah, I'm changing my mind. Instead of spending our stuff right now, let's hold on to it. And now, Our next challenge is going to be building a working, useful aircraft. So, let's see if we can get that figured out. And we'll use what we learn from this endeavor to pick what we need next. Because it may be that I don't have the parts or have useful parts, and one of those would get me something that I really would want that I can't think of right now. So let's make sure that's saved and start fresh. We really, for an aircraft, you don't need a ton. Right, so these are the little tanks. This is, whoops. This is the full body tank. Let's do... I always like having... Oh, what are rotation controls again? There we go. If I rotate that the right way? No. Nuts. I don't know why I like these sideways. It just feels more correct for an aircraft. But, so we'll have this little sort of payload science bay inside. Then... a nice cargo container. Fuel tank. Where are aerodynamics? So we've got a tail. Tails are nope. Come on, you. There we go. Tails are good. Yes. I wish it were sort of upturny, but this should be okay. So that should be plenty of fuel, plenty of other stuff. I may use, though... Well, let's get the wing done. That's that size. That's a wing. So my thought here... I could do it up like that. Big old mohawk wing? Probably not. But... let's do double. Yeah, that should be good. My thought is big up high wing, so that it's a little bit easier to land without slicing it off. Then I could put some fins out here, but I don't think that's useful. What's this? That's sort of a nice size. I don't think that's any sort of help, but it looks good, and that's important in an aircraft. Now, we want one of them, or two of them technically. One of those. Yeah. Probably want some of these. We'll go with there and see if I remember how those work. Hold on. Aileron, elevator, rudder. I remember terms. Yeah, I can't remember if those... I feel like with the ailerons, the further out you put them, the more twitchy it is. So maybe we'll put them in the middle-ish. That could be good. Then we'll have our little tubes. Up under the wings. Close to the body. Like so. With... I think they're in aerodynamics, yes. With our jet intakes, and then our engines off of them. So little engine pods tucked up in there. Under the wing, nice and easy. Nice high-mounted wing to do high-mounted wing things. Got a tail that's lower than the wing, which is either a good thing or a very, very bad thing. I don't know. Yeah. How do I see science? I think it's this. Center of mass. Center of lift. Center of thrust. Those are probably horrible, actually. Let's see. So that's center of mass. So my center of mass right now... Ooh, now. It's way in front of the center of lift, which is this blue one. The thrust is the purple. And I don't remember what I'm supposed to do with it. But center of lift... Let's see if I can move these back a bit. I can move them back and angle them down. That could do something exotic. What if I put them on top? Then... No, top feels like a bad idea. So if I'm right, the center of thrust, you want to be fairly in line with everything, because it's the point at which the force pushes on you. So if it's way above or way below, it'll cause you to angle up or angle down. Yeah, let's stick them like right at... It's hard to do because I kind of, just for aesthetic's sake, don't want them stuck in the body. Let's try right there. That's a nice sort of archy looking clump. It's probably a good thing. I don't know. Gonna move these out just a bit, just so they don't look like they're whacking into the engines. The thrust looks like it will be above these, which, from my knowledge of aviation, is actually, in theory, would create a massive, either a crap ton of turbulence that'll cause the tail to do like this, or a bunch of lift that will cause this thing to nosedive like an insane thing. So let's see if that holds true in this game. I don't know. And last but not least, not wheels going that way. I want wheels, and unfortunately, let's see, that's kind of where they'd be level. See, I want this thing to have a fair bit of ground clearance. A little bit of inverse camberness like that's probably not the worst thing in the world. I want, maybe we'll try it like this and see. This is our first version of an aircraft, so in theory, if it doesn't work, it will get us closer, and then we can figure out how to improve things. But I want as wide a wheelbase as I can, because that'll provide stability. And I think we'll put it kind of right here. That's the whole tail. I didn't want that. Kind of right here aligned with the center of thrust. I don't know if that's correct. Exactly where. I feel like you're actually supposed to line it up on the center of mass, generally, for aircraft. But this should hopefully allow us enough sort of up tilt that we can gain altitude without scraping the tail off. So that's a good point of rotation. And then we want just a single nose wheel. It's way lower. Let me fiddle and see if I can improve these. There we go. Except they aren't aligned right. Goody goody. Nah. Rotate you. You know, that'll be good enough. They're lower now. Pro tip. So, WASD, Q, and E are how you rotate things, and if you hold Shift, I had to remember how to do it, because I knew at one point long ago, but if you hold Shift, you can rotate in much smaller increments that allow you to kind of fine-tune placement. So that should be an airplane. Looks like an airplane, at least. We'll call it Airplane 1. Save. It's got fuel, it's got engines, it's got wings. The game should, whoops, it no longer has tail wings. Oh, there we go. Yeah. The game should figure out how to do everything with these. Oh no, I can adjust it. So I want this to only yaw. I want these to only, whoops, pitch. Whoops. I'm very bad at aircraft. Yes. And then I want these to only roll. So that's sort of standard aircraft control designs. You can do other stuff. You can leave them as is and it'll probably do something, but I don't know. This seems better. Okay. Let's go. Okay. It does look like it's nosed down a little bit, but it may fix itself. Now, unfortunately, we have a pretty bad runway. That is something we can do, is upgrade buildings and whatnot, so that may be in the cards. But, okay, we've got Glyphenkerman now. Guess they wanted to take the aircraft for a spin. Well, we're already rolling forward slightly, so I guess let's do this thing. Throttle up and try not to drift to one side. Oh no. Well, that's gone poorly already. Huh. Well, how about a quick pilot report? Alright, I feel like we could learn something from that, but... Huh. Okay. Well, so that was not success. I feel like part of that was just... squirreliness, which isn't... I mean, I don't know how to deal with it, at the very least. Let's recover all the scrap. Okay. Oh, that's cool. You can launch missions directly from here. I didn't know you had that option. Well, that's not what we want to do, though. How do I upgrade this? That's how. I have the money. Let's do it. Okay. We've paved our runway. I figure if we're going to be doing airplane stuff, we might as well, you know, do it correctly. So, now let's launch another plane. Let's see if this helps. Because maybe a smooth runway will help it kind of track a little better. And this could be a function of where these are causing weirdness with the tail. But I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so it's still... Nope, nope, nope. It still wants to rock. Huh. Well, maybe there's a way I can get my landing gear out further. Because that may do something if I can give it a wider base. So that's where they're mounted now. What if I have these girders? So if I stick a girder in like so. They don't quite look good coming out the top. Okay, let's scrap that idea. I'm just gonna slap the old engines. Let's turn on all our lines. I'm just gonna slap the old engines right on there. Right there. So the thrust is now just below the tail. I don't think they'll cook through the body, even though they do sort of touch it. And now I can stick my landing gear out on this surface. Yeah, if we stick them there like that. So the nose will slightly lower, which should angle it correctly. They're now wider because they're sticking on the engines, and the engine thrust is hopefully no longer wabbling around each side of the tail. Let's see if this does anything. I have no idea if it will or won't. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Okay, it's tracking much more straight. Get up to some speed. I don't know what the takeoff speed is. Whoa, there it is. Oh no. Okay. So it does like to point at the ground, as it's doing now. But if I kind of feather the up, I can generally hold it. Let's lower our speed and see if that helps it. Cool. It does like to nose up. Okay, I've got some yaw. It does like to track straight, which is good. Oh no. It also likes to, if you don't just feather the thing, it really enjoys just whipping the tail out. I wonder if it's because the when the tail rotates, it kind of catches the thrust. Again, I don't know if this game calculates that sort of thing, but you just sort of have to wiggle the tail to move it. And then it likes to nose down. Okay. Well, so this is good. So we've determined that yes, the thing I said about the weight and the lift, where they want to be where they are, I was thinking right about that at least. So this plane is somewhat designed wrong. Let's see if we can drop our speed. It seems to be able to fly decently well with very little thrust, which is good. Those are mountains. If I can lose... I don't want to lose much speed in a turn. But let's just kind of feather the turn around. See if I can't bring it back into alignment and land on the runway. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be happy to fly at about 100 meters a second. Which is very little thrust. I mean, it has a large wing surface, so it would be fairly capable. Uh-oh. This is very hard to do, controlling the throttle and feathering the nose up. Okay. Nope, I've gone up. Okay. This is not ideal. Brakes on. Ooh, ground effect. Ooh. Okay, we may have lost the rear landing gear. Maybe came down just a smidgen hard. That wing did a good job on its own, though. Right. Well, guess that Kerbin regrets their choices. Right. Back to the Space Center. Okay. Well, that airplane sort of almost worked. So that's a good step in the right direction. Well, coming off of that, unfortunate failure, I think that's where we're going to end this episode. So, yeah. Next week, we'll give it a whirl with, modifying that airplane and see if we can't land it. A lot of that, honestly, was kind of due to pilot error. I sort of accidentally nosed up drastically, then dove down drastically, and then sort of tried to force it in. So that is probably slightly on me. But we'll redesign the aircraft, we'll make it slightly better, we'll try and realign the weight, and maybe we won't crash it. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out any of the other stuff I've done, and until next week, bye bye.